If you're 75 or older, the TSA has 7 hidden airport perks that airlines don't advertise, but every senior traveler deserves to know about them. The Transportation Security Administration has quietly implemented expedited screening benefits that could transform your entire airport experience from stressful to seamless. Yet most elderly travelers are still removing their shoes and enduring unnecessary stress because nobody told them the rules had changed. Before we dive into these 7 game-changing perks, here's something critical for 2025 travel. Ensure your driver's license is Real ID compliant or bring your passport. Many seniors with older licenses are getting turned away at security checkpoints due to this federal requirement that went into full effect. Now, you might be wondering how these free 75-plus benefits compare to paid programs like TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. Here's the key difference. Your free senior screening happens in the regular security line with expedited procedures, while TSA PreCheck gives you access to dedicated shorter lanes. If you frequently travel internationally, Global Entry includes TSA PreCheck plus faster customs processing. For seniors who want the absolute shortest wait times, TSA PreCheck at $78 for 5 years can still be worthwhile even with your free 75-plus benefits. The aviation industry and Department of Transportation have quietly implemented a comprehensive network of accommodations specifically designed for elderly travelers. These aren't charity programs, they're official policies backed by federal regulations including 14 CFR, Part 382, which implements the Air Carrier Access Act and TSA procedures that can save you time, money, and significant physical discomfort. Yet somehow, the majority of senior travelers navigate airports completely unaware these flying with disabilities resources exist. We're going to change that today. I'll walk you through 7 specific benefits that you can start using on your very next flight, along with exact phone numbers and steps to access each one. Some will save you money, others will save you time, and a few might just preserve your sanity during what can be an overwhelming elderly travel experience. Let's start with the most immediately useful perk that applies to anyone 75 and older. If you're 75 or older, you can leave your shoes on. You can keep your light jacket on. And if the body scanner detects something unusual, which happens more frequently with seniors due to medical devices like pacemakers or joint replacements, you get a second chance through the machine instead of an automatic pat-down. This isn't a courtesy. This represents official TSA policy based on risk-based intelligence that recognizes seniors statistically pose lower security threats. The program allows TSA agents to focus their resources on passengers who are more likely to present actual risks, similar to how TSA PreCheck works, but without the application process. Here's what this looks like in practice. When you approach the security checkpoint, inform the TSA officer that you're 75 or older. They'll guide you through the expedited process. If you're unable to stand during screening, you can request to remain seated, and they'll accommodate you with alternative screening methods. The key detail most people miss is that if you're in a wheelchair or scooter, you can remain seated during the entire process. The TSA officer will simply test your hands for traces of explosives instead of requiring you to transfer to a standard screening position. This single perk can cut 10 to 15 minutes off your security experience and eliminate the physical strain of repeatedly removing and replacing shoes and outerwear. This might be the most valuable perk on our list, and it's completely free regardless of which ticket you purchased or which airline you're flying, under the Air Carrier Access Act and its implementing regulation 14 CFR. Part 382. Airports are legally required to provide wheelchair assistance to any passenger who requests it. Notice I said any passenger. You don't need to prove a disability. You don't need medical documentation. If you want wheelchair assistance from the curb to your gate, or from your gate to baggage claim, it's yours for the asking. Here's how to access it. When booking your flight online, look for the Special Assistance section and select Wheelchair Assistance. If you forget to request it in advance, simply approach any airline counter at the airport and ask for wheelchair assistance. They cannot charge you for this service, and they cannot deny it based on your ticket type. The wheelchair service includes assistance through security checkpoints, help reaching your gate, and assistance with boarding. On arrival, they'll help you reach baggage claim or ground transportation. For seniors dealing with mobility issues, long terminal walks, or heavy carry-on bags, this service can make the difference between a manageable trip and an exhausting ordeal. Here's an insider tip. During busy travel periods, wheelchair assistance can actually get you through security faster because wheelchair passengers often use shorter lines or receive priority processing. If you encounter any issues with wheelchair assistance or feel your rights under the Air Carrier Access Act aren't being respected, every airline is required to have a complaint resolution official or CRO available at every airport. Ask any airline employee to contact the CRO immediately. They have special training in disability accommodation requirements and can resolve issues on the spot. Once you reach the security checkpoint, you have access to a resource most travelers don't know exists. Passenger support specialists are specially trained TSA personnel whose job involves answering questions, addressing concerns, and guiding travelers through the security process. If you're confused about the screening process, worried about a medical device like a pacemaker, or simply feeling overwhelmed by the security checkpoint environment, ask any TSA officer to request a passenger support specialist. These specialists understand the unique challenges seniors face and can provide personalized guidance through each step of the screening process. They can explain what's happening during your screening, help you understand why certain procedures are necessary, and ensure you're using all available accommodations. Think of them as your personal advocate within the TSA system. Before you even leave for the airport, you have access to a dedicated hotline designed specifically for travelers with medical conditions or disabilities. The TSA Cares number is 855-787-2227, and calling this number 72 hours before your flight can dramatically improve your airport experience. When you call TSA Cares at 855-787-2227, you'll speak with specialists who can walk you through the entire security process based on your specific needs. If you have a pacemaker, they'll explain exactly what to expect. If you're traveling with medications exceeding 3.4 ounces under the medical necessity exception, they'll clarify the rules. If you have mobility concerns, they'll coordinate with the airport to ensure appropriate assistance becomes available. The 72-hour advance notice gives TSA time to coordinate with your specific airport and ensure the right personnel and equipment are available for your screening. This isn't just customer service. It's a federal program designed to make security screening accessible for all travelers. Here's a tool that can prevent misunderstandings and reduce stress during security screening. TSA notification cards are optional documents that you can present to security officers to explain medical conditions, disabilities, or medical devices that might affect your screening. You don't need special approval to create these cards. Simply write a brief explanation of your condition and any specific accommodations you might need. For example, I have a pacemaker and cannot raise my arms above my head. Or, I have diabetes and carry liquid medications exceeding 3.4 ounces under medical necessity exception. When you hand this card to the TSA officer at the beginning of your screening, they can immediately understand your situation and apply appropriate procedures. This eliminates the need to explain your medical conditions verbally and ensures consistent treatment across different airports and security officers. The cards also include instructions for contacting TSA Cares at 855-787-2227 if you need additional assistance, creating a seamless connection between advanced planning and airport execution. Now let's talk about saving money. Major airlines maintain senior discount programs that they don't advertise prominently, but the savings are real and significant. American Airlines offers senior fares for passengers 65 and older on select international routes, primarily to Latin America. These discounts typically range from 10 to 15% off base fares. The catch is that you usually can't book these fares online. You need to call their reservations line directly. Delta Airlines also maintains senior discount programs in certain markets, but again, they can't be booked through their website. You'll need to call 802-211-212 and specifically ask about senior fares for your route. United Airlines continues to offer senior fares on select routes for passengers 65 and older. Like other carriers, these fares often require phone booking and aren't automatically displayed in online searches. Frontier Airlines frequently runs promotions for travelers 55 and older with significant percentage discounts off base fares. Check their website for current promotions as these change regularly throughout the year. British Airways offers substantial discounts for AARP members. $65 off economy fares, $65 off premium economy, and $200 off business class. These discounts are available for flights booked through their partnership program and can be combined with global entry benefits for international travelers. The key to accessing these discounts involves knowing they exist and being willing to pick up the phone. Airlines have found that phone bookings cost more to process, so they don't promote these discounts heavily online. But for seniors comfortable with phone reservations, the savings can be substantial. Here's an important caveat. Senior fares aren't always the cheapest option available. Airlines often have promotional fares, or online-only deals that beat senior discounts. However, senior fares often come with more flexible change and cancellation policies, making them valuable even when they're not the absolute lowest price. Our final perk addresses one of the most stressful aspects of senior travel: navigating the airport alone. If you have a family member or friend who wants to accompany you through security and help you reach your gate, they can obtain a gate pass that allows them to enter the secure area of the airport without a boarding pass. This represents an official airline procedure under the Air Carrier Access Act, though many ticket agents and even some TSA officers aren't familiar with the process. Here's how it works. When you arrive at the airport, go to the airline ticket counter with your escort. Explain that you need assistance reaching your gate and request a gate pass for your companion. The airline will issue a special pass that allows your escort to accompany you through security and stay with you until boarding begins. Your escort will go through the same security screening process as any other passenger, including the body scanner, but they'll be allowed to enter the gate area without a flight ticket. This service proves particularly valuable for seniors with cognitive concerns, mobility issues, or those who simply feel more comfortable having familiar support during the stressful airport experience. It's also useful for adult children who want to ensure their elderly parents safely reach their departure gate. Allow extra time for this process, as ticket agents may need to verify procedures or contact supervisory staff. If you encounter resistance, ask to speak with the complaint resolution official who can clarify the airline's legal obligations under federal regulations. These 7 perks represent a comprehensive support system that most senior travelers never fully utilize. The key to accessing these benefits involves preparation and knowledge. Call TSA Cares at 855-872-2227 72 hours before your flight. Research a senior fares by phone rather than relying solely on online searches. Request wheelchair assistance if you need it. Prepare notification cards for medical conditions. Ensure your identification meets real ID requirements. Most importantly, remember that these aren't favors or special accommodations that you should feel hesitant about requesting. These are official policies and services designed to make air travel accessible and manageable for all passengers. The Department of Transportation Aviation Consumer Protection Division and TSA have recognized that senior travelers have specific needs, and they've created systems to address those needs. The difference between a stressful travel experience and a smooth one often comes down to knowing what resources are available and having the confidence to use them. Every perk I've described today belongs to you by right under federal law, not by charity. Whether you're planning elderly travel tips for an upcoming vacation or dealing with flying with disabilities challenges, your next flight doesn't have to be an endurance test. With the right knowledge and preparation, it can become a manageable, even comfortable experience that gets you safely to your destination without unnecessary stress or expense. These 7 hidden perks are your roadmap to making that happen. Safe travels. And remember, the best kept secrets in aviation are often hiding in plain sight. You just need to know where to look.